Graduates and guests, can I please ask you all to stand and to give a round of applause for your senior officers of the University of Liverpool.
Please be seated. I declare this congregation for the celebration of our graduates open. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your graduation ceremony. It is really wonderful to welcome you here in person at long last, and I'm sorry it's 2 years late. There's been a bit of a pandemic in the meantime. And thank you for your patience. I'm Professor Peter Clegg, and I'm standing in for the Executive Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Professor Louise Kenny, who is unable to be here today. First of all, I want to say what a tremendous privilege and a pleasure it is to be able to preside over the ceremony today. It's a real joy to be able to celebrate this important milestone in your lives, together with your families and fellow students, your lecturers, and all those who have supported you through your journey your journey to graduating from the University of Liverpool. Your graduation ceremony today is to celebrate your achievements with your families and friends, and maybe reflect on your journey to graduating from the University of Liverpool and all that you have in common, not least how you feel on such a special day. I was once in exactly your position, and I recall this was a day of very mixed emotions. I remember feeling both very relieved and proud to have completed my studies, sad that this chapter of my life had come to an end, and both excited and nervous about the future and what it had in store for me. But for you, of course, it has been very different, because you've been students for a time like no other in our history. Students in universities all over the country and all around the world have been hit by the disruption to their education by the pandemic and all that that has caused. This is, of course, particularly difficult for those who have needed a laboratory or field work as key parts of your courses. You have become experts on online delivery of education, and more importantly, many of you developed online communities of learners. Your university experience has been very different to what you may have imagined and hoped for, and at times it will have felt very tough. Your experience and well-being were always at the forefront of our decision-making, but over the past 2 years, we have had to carefully consider and balance so many decisions around your teaching arrangements and your safety on campus. We know it has not been easy for you. We know you've had long days, sleepless nights, and difficult times exacerbated by these unique global circumstances. Your achievements are all the greater because of the difficulties you have faced and have overcome. One thing is certain, every single one of you here today have shown remarkable spirit and dedication, whatever your discipline. You have demonstrated your learning through all of this, persevering with commitment, resilience, and flexibility. You didn't do it alone, though no doubt there have been many lonely and even scary times for you in the past 2 years. You did it supporting one another and being supported by your fellow professionals and by your lecturers and tutors here in the university. And of course, by your family and friends. And we in the university, and here I speak for the whole university, are immensely proud of the manner in which you demonstrated courage, adaptability, perseverance, and real commitment to your studies. We are inspired by you and by what you have achieved. Today is all about you, your achievements, and your personal successes here at the University of Liverpool. But it's also a day to look forward to the future and to feel excited about your aspirations and your career or your future study plans. One thing the pandemic has shown us is that we never know what the future holds, but the advances in science will be essential to help us deal with that future. We all understand the importance of research in health and life sciences like never before. I'm sure all of us in the room have now become experts in epidemiology and can talk knowledge about our numbers and exponential growth in clinical trials. Vaccines and drugs to combat and manage COVID-19, each one has been the product of intense research activity and have been vital in enabling a return to something approaching normal life. But the continuing need for research into COVID-19 is also clear, whether it's about long COVID, pandemic effects on mental health, especially in vulnerable groups, and what we learned from this pandemic in our approaches to future public health or future pandemics or public health emergencies more broadly, and how we respond to health inequalities. And of course, the need for research is not just in COVID. Let us not forget some of the other great challenges facing us, the climate crisis, and for instance, its possible effects on the future of food production, or biodiversity, or antimicrobial drug resistance. We have to understand how interlinked we are all as individuals and our sciences are, whether it's across mental health, behavior of individuals, or public health. The pandemic has illustrated how interdependent all of these are. It is clear that huge challenges await us as a human race and await you in your future careers. But I'm confident that you have prepared yourselves for whatever comes your way with the skills and knowledge you have honed and developed during your time here. I don't talk about pandemic and other emergencies such as the climate emergency to dampen spirits on a day meant for celebration, but rather in the spirit of optimism and gratitude, knowing that the world needs researchers in psychology and in public health. In your career, you will see new problems come and hopefully go, and new opportunities to impact. In the 1980s and 1990s, HIV/AIDS was a terrifying and fatal disease. Now it has become manageable and compatible with normal life expectancy. Pubs and clubs when I was a student were thick with the fog of cigarette smoke, and I do remember coming home from a night smelling of cigarettes. Nobody would have imagined the radical culture shift to smoke-free places in the earlier 20th century. And there are many other examples. These advances in scientific knowledge and evidence-based health policies have changed the outlook of the people for the better. What will change in your careers? New technologies, easier access to information, artificial intelligence, who can say? But some things won't change for you. I'll flag up 3. First, the need to be a lifelong learner, just as you've been during the pandemic and for the rest of your career, the need to commit yourself to always being curious, to asking questions, and to always striving to doing better things and to do things better. Of course, just as you should always be a learner, you should always be a teacher. Pass on your skills and experience to your colleagues and to the next generation of students. The second is the need to never compromise on your core values, your own integrity and honesty, and your willingness to go the extra mile. There are qualities that you've displayed in abundance during your studies and which will stand you in good stead for the rest of your careers. And the third is the need to strive or continue to work in areas that really do matter. Knowing that what you're doing is important is a great motivator to get you out of bed in the morning. I hope you always enjoy your work and your career. So let's all celebrate together today. Let's thank your family and friends who got you here. The pandemic has made us truly appreciate our loved ones and the experience and memories we make together. I want to take a moment to celebrate the role that your loved ones, and I hope some of them are here as your guests today, have played in your success. I hope that you will find a moment to thank them for their support and personal sacrifice. For family and friends, today is a day of celebration for you too. Let's also thank your lecturers and teachers who have provided you with the training and support to become practical, innovative and resilient in your chosen career with the skills and qualities required to be successful in today's and tomorrow's demanding world. We hope that today is a day to enjoy a return to this great city and for you and your guests to receive a warm welcome from your university. We hope that Liverpool will always feel like a home whenever you return. You may have chosen to stay here and make the city your home, or you may have already called it home before you joined us in the university. We hope that whatever your relationship with Liverpool, this is a place where you have made friends and memories which will last a lifetime. Our Victoria building, the red brick building with the clock tower which you saw in the film earlier, is now a beautiful and iconic gallery and museum which serves our most recognisable backdrop in many, many social media posts and probably many of your graduation photos today. As a student, you will have walked past a plaque fixed to the Victoria building, perhaps every day, and maybe you haven't noticed it, which reads, "For the advancement of learning and ennoblement of life." This is the foundation on which your university was built, and it is a motto that continues to guide us in all that we do. Our aim is to inspire, engage, and enable every single student to fulfill their potential by raising their awareness, challenging barriers, and providing opportunities. You have advanced your learning, and you have, and will continue to ennoble life. You've been stretched to think beyond the textbooks, lecture theatres, and laboratory, and you've been encouraged to apply that knowledge to the world around you. Your University of Liverpool education has enabled you to realise just how far you can go and provided you with the skills that you need to get there. Our university has a long, successful history of graduating inspiring students who go on to achieve great things. You now join that community of talented international past graduates. This is a fundamentally important part of our University of Liverpool family, which supports our students in many ways. Some you may have personally experienced while studying here, from delivering lectures and workshops, offering work placements, or mentoring to students. We hope that, like so many of our past students, you will stay in touch and help guide and support our future students and broaden their horizons through your own experiences. Because it is through you that the university is known. You are our greatest ambassadors. And through your achievements in the careers, you will also become role models and an important source of inspiration for the next generation of graduates. Despite the challenges, I hope that you'll also remember many happy and joyful moments during your time at the University of Liverpool. Never forget how important you are to our university. You are the beating heart of our institution. Without you, the university would be nothing but classrooms and lecture halls and red bricks. When we work together, the university is a place where discoveries are made, ideas are formed, friendships are forged, and where lives are changed. It is when we work together as staff and students that education is truly transformational. We thank you for all you've done in your time here, and we wish you good luck and every success in the future. Thank you. I now invite Professor Joe Harold Dean of the School of Psychology, to present graduates from our class of 2020.
It gives me tremendous pleasure to present to you the following graduates from the class of 2020. Georgia Stenton. Abigail Thaxter. Sophie Stewart. Eleanor Rose Millard. Jessica Peat. Anna Croft. Anna Cross. Holly Bennett. Hayley Lee McRae. Sanjana Kaur Patar. Holly Robinson. Hannah Peace. Libby McLaren. Claire Maria Hill. Lydia Catherine Rowe. Lucy Ella Rogerson. Callum Sean Lynch. Maya Mardania. Grace Hopkins. Amy Parr. Ellen Lois Mumford. Beth Neely. Rebecca Mary Denham. Ross Green. Chloe Victoria Gaunt. Hattie Carroll. Georgia Astley. Michelle Neal. Jacqueline Whitford Stark. Chloe Ledward. Eve Rasmussen. Elizabeth Joan Holhouse. Rani Davis. Annabelle Sophie Louisa Brewis. Ellen Maguire. Emily Jackson. Laura Simmons. Layla Jade Sewing Solis. Jessie Dawson. Lucy Tobbert. Abby Megan Sutton Ellis. Bethany Francesca Todd Leonida. Ellie Sinnott. Victoria Jean Stanley. Tegan Avayant. Kerry Watkin. Chloe Moran. Dylan Bailiff. Lucy Jenna Hayes. Owen William Jones. Rebecca Brand. Emily George. Alexandra Riley. Rosie Costello. Eden Alice Cunningham. Abby Sproston. Catherine Bryony Spurdle. Sorrel Harms. Claire Peddy. Ruby Morris. Abigail Jane Milner. Catherine Cooper. India Coy. Sophie Emma Bolton. Abby Lowe Smith. Lydia Anise Wood. Isabel Senior. Natalie Marie Roberts. Amelia Toulusty. Emma Fardell. Alice Barraclough. Eleanor Lowe. Rumana Patel. Emma Rachel Homersham. Neve Conway. Gregory Norman Copping. Ellie Isabella Doyle. Raymat Badisha. Elizabeth Megson. Bethany Marie Glacier. Polly Elizabeth Greenwood. Molly Isabel Hinchcliffe. Hannah Louise Gagan. Caitlin Bromley. Alice Taylor Penny. Lauren Katie Palin. Paulina Akhtar. Tiffany Molyneux. Pian de los Reyes. Sophie Claire McCullough. Georgia Tabali. Alice Bonning. Georgia Louise Hall. Katie Yvonne Roberts. Chanel Burton. Amber Louise Edwards. Yasmin Emily Rivett. Kelsey Granger. Hannah Glowden. Victoria Louise Ray. Robert Douglas. Eleanor Metcalf. Eliza Grace Hick. Florrie Higgins. Christopher Finneran. Neve Fletcher. Victoria Ann Coates. Kathleen Rose Littler. Yasmin Ashcroft. Martina Adam. Catherine Aldred. Antonia Niblock. Crystal Harvey. Francesca Morelli. Grace Elizabeth Regan. Molly Benson. Gina Dice. Mithara Senori Gunapala. Katie Ann Wright. Caitlin Duckett. Amelia Westmoreland. Elliot Webster. Ashley Jones. Ella O'Connor. Emma Shepherd. Matilda Ayres. Eve Silson. Anna Fleur Kofi. India Arikan. Laura Ruddin. Alicia Tandy. Charlotte Martin. Edward Jonathan Marshall. Emily Parker. Sarah Grace Burke. Evelyn Grace Biggs. Olivia T.J. Waldron. Sasha Reed. Marcus Leo Newman. Mariana Zajak. Sam Ryan Tobin. Luke Molyneux. Matthew Wotton. Carla Ferreira. Bethany Kate Wilson. Olivia Joy Massey. Olivia Rose Latham. Amy Jane Tucker. Lauren Allwright. Charmaine Lorna Atwater. Kate Stafford. Tara Volkenberg. Ellie Duckers. Jessica Lauren Lee. Hannah Catherine Kelly. Emily Dickinson. Olivia Diggle. Jessica Gregori. Charlotte Mahoney. Eve Alexandra Michelle Simpson. Angelique Morton. Charlie Williams. Victoria Hayden Taylor. Leah Smith. Declan Campbell. Isis Megan Joseph Brimfield. Matthew Connolly. Megan Roberts. Sarah Williams. Sophie Harrison. Alice Jeanette Hale. Liam Ben Walsh. Anna Di Ventura.
I would like now to invite Libby McLaren to join us on the stage to reflect on her student experience. So, over to you, Libby.
Professor, distinguished guests, family, friends and fellow graduates of 2020, good afternoon and welcome to your graduation day, finally. I am truly honoured to have been given the opportunity to speak to you today. Finally, the day has come where we get to graduate from our BSc Psychology degree, which we have all waited 2 long years for. At first, the idea of standing in front of this many people, most of whom I haven't seen for around 2 years, felt very daunting when I was asked to address you all. But then I thought, why not take up this opportunity to contribute to celebrating such a special day for us all? I think it can be easy to forget how much of a huge achievement a degree is, especially when we finished it such a long time ago. We worked very hard for this degree, from late nights in the library to lovely 9 a.m. stats lectures where your brain hadn't even woken up yet you were expected to understand chi-square. We have worked very hard through this degree. We've gone through a lot of tears, a lot of laughter, so let's make today about us. My name is Libby McLaren, and since completing this degree back in the summer of 2020, I have completed a Masters in Media Psychology and I'm currently on a travel gap year with my next trip commencing in just a few weeks, where I will backpack around Southeast Asia. For many of you, your experience since finishing at the University of Liverpool might have looked very different to mine, from being accepted onto graduate schemes, completing internships, to entering straight into the world of employment, or simply having a break from education, because that's what we all need, let's be honest. But a big shout out to LinkedIn for that one, for keeping me updated on where you all are in the world. For me, psychology is a degree that does not just set you up for one career path. Ultimately, many of us will take varying routes into the world of psychology. Our knowledge of human behaviour sets us apart from other graduates, as we can understand humans on an individual level. Moreover, psychology has opened our eyes to many career paths that we have never previously considered. Now, I'd like to all re-jog all of your memories, take it back right to the start, back to the year 2017, when we first stepped in foot onto a well-known red brick university campus. It's Freshers' Week. You visited the Freshers' Fair, signed up for every society possible, queued up for your Freshers' wristbands, and met all your flatmates. Now, I want you to take a quick moment just to think how much you have grown as a person since that first week. Not everything about these 3 years will have been perfect, but I'm sure you've all learned a lot about yourselves. At the end of the day, university is not just about studying for a degree. It is about the whole learning experience. We have been lucky enough to learn about multiple different modules and aspects in psychology. Of course, we're not going to love every single one or be amazing at every subject, because I definitely learnt that, as psychology covers such a broad range of areas, and that is far more than what non-psychology students think. I still get asked to this day if I can read minds. But now we have the degree. I'm not going to lie, I might play on that and say I can, just for the fun of it. But in all seriousness, I'm grateful that we have had the opportunity to delve into such a range of topics because it enabled us to explore each one and work out which ones we were interested in taking to the next step of our career. As a class, the class of 2020, it's definitely going to be a class to remember, with a very abrupt end to the degree. One minute, we were finalising our research projects, preparing for exams, and our last few lectures of third year. The next minute, we were packing up our stuff to go home, not knowing if we would return back to Liverpool. Finishing this degree at home, sitting those online exams, is definitely something we did not expect or sign up to. However, this period has definitely helped us develop a lot of resilience as a cohort, and as I'm sure you would all agree. It was definitely a time we will never forget. But look at the positives. At least we all have relevant interview examples to talk about, I guess. I'd also like to pay a tribute to the city of Liverpool itself. Having to spend time away from it whilst completing our studies was not something any of us would have imagined. I think it's safe to say we were very lucky to have studied in such a great city for 3 years, from walking around Albert Dock to getting a coffee on Bold Street to many a drunken nights in Concert Square and Brook House. I really do miss those student prices. I definitely don't get those in Manchester on a weekend anymore. And as a northerner from Manchester, even I found Scousers extra friendly and welcoming whilst living in a city that I was lucky enough to call home. And as I'm sure you will all agree, no matter where we all end up, Liverpool as a city will always have a piece of our heart. So, as the spokesperson for the psychology class of 2020 graduates, on behalf of us all, I'd like to thank the psychology department as a whole for their continuous support, both academically and pastorally, throughout the 3 years. More specifically, I'd like to thank our core teaching lecturers who enhanced our knowledge on a range of psychology topics, from biological psychology to cognitive psychology to the famous statistics classes. And further to this, as a cohort, we have been lucky enough to receive lecturers from guest speakers from specialist fields. You might all have your own ones that you remember, but a couple that have stuck in my mind is when we heard from a forensic psychologist about her day-to-day jobs of working in a prison, and more specifically, a lecture that moved me was regarding the London Bridge terror attacks and where they spoke about their strategic decision-making during their time. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank our academic advisors, who were there for us when we needed not only that academic support, but sometimes someone to just listen, which is so important, especially when we're so far away from home. Finally, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank our family and friends, who have supported us from the very start, from helping us with those UCAS forms all those years ago, helping us move into university, to doing our washing. Don't deny you didn't take it home at least once for your mum to do your washing. To a nice FaceTime call just to check how you are, up until helping us move out as the pandemic began. We are very grateful to all of you. I will finish by saying, whatever the next step is for you, good luck. Today is a day of celebration that we will remember for the rest of our lives. And we have waited 2 years for this day, so finally we can say we have graduated from the University of Liverpool with a degree in psychology. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Libby. I think those were really excellent words, and you obviously had a student experience like no other, and I wish you well on your journeys, and hope you enjoy Southeast Asia, and hopefully COVID will be a distant memory there. So have fun. So again, I'd like to thank all the graduates, thank all the staff for all their efforts, and all the parents for their support to this graduating class. And I wish you all well and success in your future lives. I declare this congregation for the celebration of our graduates closed. Salva sit universitas nostra, quod precantes consugamus.